Welcome to the Reese Report. I'm the mouth of the North, Andrew Reese, and we are back for week 9 of the NFL. I am joined as always by Jose Carlos Gomes with a very old 49ers hat. And I'm also joined by Gil Santos, who I'm no longer calling Gil Bay because his team is not worth saying Gil Bay anymore. He's wearing a Jets shirt today. He's changing it up every week, so we'll see how that works out for him. Uh, the records. Jose has been caught once again after having a big lead to start the year. Mr. Malfera, who needs to come on this show, is now tied with Jose. I am 6 games back, and Gil is 8 games back going into week 9. As always, guys, please subscribe, like, and comment on our videos. Let us know what you think. But let's get into week 9 as we begin with the Philadelphia Eagles at the Houston Texans. The Eagles are 7-0. The Texans are 1-5-1. We're not going to spend too much time on this. Guys, do we all have the Eagles here?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so we all have the Eagles. We're not going to spend time on games that are obvious, guys. So we all got the Eagles. You know why. Houston has the worst run defense in the NFL. So it's not going to be fun for them. Now we get to a little bit of a more interesting game, and I can't wait to see Gil's face on this one. We have Kirk Cousins against Taylor Heineke, Gil. I can't wait to hear Gil's pick on this one. The Vikings are 6-1. He's already wincing at Washington 4-4, who found a way to beat the Colts last week for me. I'm going to start with Gil. Cousins versus Heineke. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go with the Vikings. Washington won last week was luck. The guy dropped the pass there at the end. They should have won the game. Killed it for the Colts. They should have won, but as bad as I have to say it, I think the Vikings win. They're gonna go to 7-1.
Jose?
I like the Vikings as well. I think they're playing well on defense and offense. Washington got lucky last week against the Colts. So I just think Minnesota has got more firepower for them, and I'm taking Minnesota as well.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Vikings. They just added TJ Hawkinson. That offense is about to get even more dangerous. There are no excuses for Kirk Cousins, as there is no excuses for Jimmy G. They're two loaded offenses. We'll get more into that later when we talk about other teams, but those two teams don't have any more excuses on the offensive end. And certainly for the 49ers, their defense is loaded, but we'll see how Minnesota goes forward. I think they got the division wrapped up considering how bad the Packers are, but we'll discuss that later. Carolina, the Panthers, who somehow found a way to score 34 points last week and still lose, go to Cincinnati to take on the struggling Bengals, who got absolutely pounded by the Browns on Monday. I believe Gil had Cleveland in that one. Gil, since you got an expert on the Bengals, we'll go to you first.
Well, I saw that coming, especially with Chase out. Burrows got sacked. I just saw that game and he was getting sacked left and right. Yeah, no protection. It all depends on Carolina. If Carolina blitz them as well, I think he'll get sacked a lot too. I'm gonna take the Bengals to win, but they're not gonna blow them out. It's gonna be very close. Might be a field goal game.
Jose?
I'm gonna take Cincinnati. I think they're gonna regroup from the beating that they took from Cleveland on Monday night. So I'm gonna take Cincinnati.
Just in case I didn't say it, Malfera has the Eagles and the Vikings. I'm going to take Cincinnati, but boy, oh boy, that offensive line is brutal. Myles Garrett was all over Burrow. They could not get anything going without Chase there. They didn't run the ball, which surprised me. I thought they'd run a little bit more. And then Jacoby Brissett all of a sudden turned into the quarterback that's going to be joining them soon, Deshaun Watson. So, but I'll take Cincy. They got to win this game. They're at 4-4. They can't afford any slip ups. I expect them to win this game, so I'll take Cincinnati. But Mr. Malfera is going with the Panthers. Interesting. This game, I don't think I'm going to spend too much time on this game. It is the Bills going to New York to take on the Jets. The Jets were absolutely awful last week on offense. Zach Wilson is not a starting quarterback in the NFL. Joe Flacco's look better than him this year, and they need to move on. But until they do, they're going to struggle offensively. Um, Jose, who do you like in this one?
Like Buffalo, you stop the Jets' run game, and you force Zach Wilson to throw, and you can see what happened last week against the Patriots. And now imagine against a team like the Buffalo Bills, which is a better team.
Mm.
All I think it's going to be a blowout. But taking Buffalo in this one.
Yeah, the Jets season ended with when Brees Hall ruptured his Achilles, or sorry, tore his ACL. Gil?
Well, there's the real Jets that I know. We saw them. Buffalo should win this game, although last week Green Bay only held them to a field goal in that second half. Green Bay held them. Allen had a hard time. Green Bay played them very well in that second half, and but Buffalo should win this game.
Buffalo's gonna win. I have the Bills as does Anthony, but the Bills have shown me cracks in their armor. I wasn't impressed with their win over Green Bay. Allen threw 2 picks. They were messing around too much in the second half. The Jets defense is good, so this might be a little bit closer than people think, but the Bills win. To the Indianapolis Colts, who are at 3-4-1 and are starting Sam Ellinger. Gil, Sam Ellinger. They go to to New England and take on an equally inept offensive team. Lucky they have running backs. Mac Jones is starting, I believe, but we're going to hear Zappy chant soon if he doesn't start playing better. Tough game. Indy at New England. New England's 4-4, so this is a crucial game. Gil, what do you got in this one?
You know what? I root for Sammy, but my Longhorn. But what I saw, you know what? He didn't play bad last week.
No,
It's just
no.
the receiver just didn't catch for him.
Yeah.
It's in New England. New England just has they can throw 5 different running backs all of a sudden at you. They can throw 2 quarterbacks at you. They're a very balanced team, but just watching the Colts is just depressing. I gotta go with New England.
Jose.
I don't know. It's a toss up. They're both, and whatever. I'll take Indy in an upset.
Um, we don't know the status of Jonathan Taylor right now, which is making it difficult for me to take this game. However, I watched New England struggle mightily against Justin Fields at home a couple of weeks ago. And from what I've seen from the video of Sam Ellinger, he's a running quarterback. And I think New England is going to have trouble with Sam Ellinger, believe it or not, because he can run and he can throw the ball deep. I actually think he's going to be a better quarterback than Matt Ryan for this team. Hopefully Taylor plays. If not, we'll see Deion Jackson. I'm going to take Indy in an upset because I don't think New England can handle running quarterbacks. So I'm going to take Indy for the upset. Hope their defense shows up against Matt Jones. Mr. Malfera has New England in this one. To 2 teams that I wish I never have to watch again. The first one being the Las Vegas Raiders, who are easily, and I said it was Denver, but no, it's Las Vegas is the most disappointing team in the NFL. Derek Carr needs to be moved or retired from the NFL. He's a horrible quarterback. Devontae Adams had one reception for 3 yards last week. He probably misses the cold of Green Bay right now. They go to Jacksonville to take on an equally inept quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. I can just see Gil squinting already. I don't want to pick this game, but we have to. So I'll go to Gil and ask him who he likes in this garbage fest.
It's a garbage fest, but I'm taking the Raiders. I don't
Oh,
have
that was
to on the
quick.
show. I don't have to waste time on the show. Now that Robinson's out of there too, Lawrence is gonna keep doing his mistakes. So
Jose?
Like Vegas in this one. I think we're gonna regroup, and Derek Carr's not shit. He's just playing bad, but he's not shit at all. Like I don't understand because he has one bad game.
He's been
shit.
terrible all year.
Of course, he's been terrible. When he's won, they've been throwing up for 300, 400 yards. He's been shit all year. Anyways, I'll take in Vegas.
Derek Carr has been a major disappointment this year for anyone that's actually watched them play. He's played Houston, one good game against them. He played a game against Denver. Other than that, it's been a running show in Vegas. When their running backs do well, they do well. He doesn't know how to use his receivers properly. That game in New Orleans was an embarrassment. They did not get past the 50-yard line until the fourth quarter against a bad defense, by the way. It's not New Orleans' defense been any good this year. I'm taking Jacksonville, and I'm taking Jacksonville because they're at home, and Vegas has been terrible all year. Travis Etienne, I think, will have a field day running against that defense. And until I see Derek Carr show up in a game that actually means something, I'm going to take every team against him until I see him play a meaningful football. You don't get shut out by New Orleans and expect me to take you the following week. I got Jacksonville. And Malfira has Vegas as well. So that's that game there. Now we go to the Miami Dolphins, who made a couple of trades this week, I believe. I think it was them that made a couple of trades. Chicago made a couple of trades. They traded away two of their best defensive players. They're at home taking on the Dolphins. I feel bad for Justin Fields, although they got Claypool, so maybe that'll help him on offense. Jose, Dolphins at Bears. What do you got?
Miami's gonna roll them, blowout.
Gil.
Miami. Don't even have to talk about it.
Okay, Anthony also has Miami. I'm taking the upset here. I'm taking the Bears. I'm just taking a chance here. I saw what the Bears did to New England. I also saw what happened against Dallas last week. But at home, the Bears are not a bad football team. Justin Fields could cause their defense some problems. And I didn't like what I saw when Miami went to Pittsburgh and only won 19-10. So I think, and I saw Carolina do this to Tampa Bay. They trade their best players and then they win a game in Tampa Bay. So I'm going to take Chicago for an upset here, just for the hell of it. Maybe they'll knock out Tua, and we'll see what happens. Now we go to Green Bay, the Packers, who are somehow 3-5. They go to Detroit to take on the 1-6 Lions. I'm going to start with Gil in this one. Aaron Rodgers, would you agree with me that he's been awful this year?
Well, he's not the Aaron Rodgers we're used to. Is he
He hasn't been
awful?
good.
Awful?
Right.
I say he's been decent.
Okay.
That against the Bills there in the second half, it looks like they caught a little bit of momentum. So with Dobbs there, and Buffalo looked a little shaky there, but
running game.
yeah, they ran like 143, actually almost 200 yards if you count Dillon's as well. But Aaron Jones himself ran 143 yards.
Yeah.
The key to this game is the Packers defense is better than the Lions defense. So
Yes.
I'm gonna have to take Green Bay on this one.
Jose.
I'm gonna go Green Bay, but in a close one. Detroit will keep it close.
I keep trying to find reasons to go against Green Bay, but every team they play, I feel like they're going to beat. Giants, Washington, and I feel the same way here. I look at that team and they should be better than what they are. And I can't take Detroit against Green Bay. I can't do it. So I'm going to take the Packers. Malfera also has the Packers. They got to win this game. You're at 3-5. You're in a bad conference. If you're going to stay alive, you got to win this game because you're going to be a wild card. I don't think they're going to catch the Vikings, but we'll see. To a game that's going to be much more competitive than people would have thought when the season started. The LA Chargers, who are struggling mightily and have a lot of injuries, are going to Atlanta to take on the Falcons, who are, I think, one of the surprises of the league this year. Gil, who do you got in this one?
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, and I've been looking at this game for a while, and the Falcons. Patterson's hurt though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with I'm scared of Mariota. Okay, I'm just gonna go with the Chargers.
Chargers.
They gotta bounce. Yeah.
Yeah, they gotta bounce back. Jose?
I'm gonna take Atlanta. I think they've been playing well. Their run game's been strong. Now Kyle Pitts is starting to play. They're starting to throw the ball to Kyle Pitts too, opening up that game too. And their defense isn't they're not the greatest, but they have a couple of stops here and there and stuff. So I think the run game, and they'll have a couple of stops, and Atlanta will win this game.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Falcons. The Chargers defense has struggled all year, especially against the run. Atlanta runs the ball all day. They don't have a great defense, but what Atlanta does is they control the clock, and that therefore their defense is on the field less, and that's how they beat you. They just run the ball all day. I have heard that Cordell Patterson is going to practice this week. He could be back. If he is, then I think Atlanta wins this game. The Chargers have too many injuries. I mean, Mike Williams is out. Keenan Allen's been hurt all year. Herbert has no one to throw to. He got hurt earlier this year. I just think the Chargers just having one of those years where they're just gonna be a disappointment. So I got Atlanta winning this one and keeping themselves in the playoff race at 4-4. Anthony also has the Panthers, or sorry, the Falcons in this one. To another ugly game, but again, records that you wouldn't have expected. Geno Smith, Gil, and the Seabags at 5-3 go to take on the Cardinals, and the video game playing Kyler Murray at 3-5. Wow, Gil. I no one saw this coming. Who do you got in this game?
I'm going with Arizona at home.
Wow. Okay. We're sticking, man. A lot of us are sticking with Arizona, how bad they've been this year. What about you, Jose?
I like Arizona. They should have won last week against Minnesota. The guy muffed 2 punts,
Yes,
but
agreed.
and they were in the game until those 2 turnovers.
Yeah.
Arizona with D-Hop back, you can see it's a different offense.
Yeah.
And Seahawks, I think they've been overhyped. I think Geno Smith has been playing well, and the offense has been playing well. But I think that defense, when they go against good competition, I think they're gonna be weak. So I'm gonna take Arizona in this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Arizona at home. The Seabags defense is the problem. I think Arizona is going to score a lot on that defense. I'll say this about Geno Smith, though. I watched a lot of that game last week that they played against the Giants. He looks like Russell Wilson, and I'm not exaggerating. The throws that he's making, the long throws are perfect throws, like right on the money. He looks great. But I think they're going to lose this one to Arizona. But man, Geno Smith's looked great all year. He's outplayed Russell Wilson, and he's making Kia Carroll look like a genius right now. But I got Arizona. Malfera also has the Cardinals in this one. Oh my God, this game here. Easily two of the most disappointing teams in the NFL, the LA Rams, who I wish my 49ers could play every week. Because if they played the Rams every week, they'd be a Super Bowl champion every single year. Because that's how good they look against the Rams every week. They go to Tampa Bay to take on
the Rams.
Say that again?
But last week you took the Rams.
Yeah, I took the Rams because the 49ers had a million injuries and were coming off a bye week. They did it without Deebo Samuel. They had a bunch of injuries and still beat the Rams. They just own the Rams. That's all there is to it. That was the Christian McCaffrey show last week. He came out to play and they couldn't stop him. He even threw the first touchdown pass of the game. So they didn't trust Jimmy G in the red zone to do it. But I'll get to that later. Rams at Tampa Bay. Tom Brady's divorce is final. That's about all I have to say about Tampa Bay right now. That's how bad they've been this year. Josie, who do you got in this one? Rams at Tampa Bay.
I'm just gonna go with the Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay needs this game.
Gil.
Well, I'm gonna take Tampa Bay. If the Rams are struggling, no Cooper. If they don't have a Cooper Cup, they don't stand a chance.
I honestly don't know who to take in this game. I don't want to take this game. Both teams have been extremely disappointing. Two of the worst offenses in the league. Low scoring, I expect. I don't know who's playing, which is a big factor in this. Both quarterbacks disappointing. I don't know. I have no idea to take. I'm just going to take the Rams. I'll just be opposite. I have no reason, absolutely zero, to take the Rams. I'm just taking the Rams. Malfera also has the Rams.
Has who?
Rams. Malfera has the Rams. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Zero confidence, guys. I have to pick the game. I don't want to pick it. But now we go to a game that I don't understand the spread on this game. I guess it might be because Malik Willis is starting. I guess I don't know if they're going to continue with him after his 7 for 14 last week and Derrick Henry going crazy. Or if Tannehill's playing. I wish I knew. But they're a 12.5 point underdog at Kansas City. Both teams are 5-2. I don't understand the line in this game, and I'll say it now. If it stays at 12.5, I'm taking Tennessee all day. That's way too high, that spread. Um, but in the game itself to win outright, um, Gil, what do you have?
I like Tennessee. I'm gonna go Tennessee to win the game outright. I think they're gonna play a lot of I formations. They're literally telling us they're gonna use Henry a lot.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
and I think KC has a hard time stopping Henry. We saw that in the playoffs before. They just have a hell of a time in Arrowhead, and Tennessee went there and won. And I
Yep.
think it's the same thing. They're going to use the same game plan. They don't really need to throw that much on this KC defense because the KC defense ain't that great either. So
Yeah. I agree.
they're going to force Mahomes to beat their defense and let Henry run all over them. I think they're going to win by a field goal.
Jose?
So I'm taking KC. I see them stacking the box, and if it's Malik Willis, if it's Tannehill, they're gonna force him to throw it and beat him by throwing it. They're not gonna let Henry rush for 200 or something yards. I can guarantee you that. And so I'm taking KC.
I'm also taking the upset. I'm taking Tennessee to win outright. Derrick Henry's a beast. Sometimes even when you stack the box, you can't stop him. I don't like Kansas City's defense, especially at home this year. They've lost to Buffalo, which was expected. They also had a hard time beating the Raiders at home, barely beating them by a point after a failed 2 point conversion. I think Tennessee can win this game. I don't know who I want at quarterback, to be honest with you. I'd prefer it be Tannehill right now because I don't think the kid Willis is ready. But if Tennessee can control the clock here, they got a chance to win this game. I have not been overly impressed with Kansas City's defense nor their running game. It's been the Mahomes show. So I think Tennessee can win this game outright. I'm taking Tennessee. Malfera shockingly is taking Kansas City in this game. I'll have a talk with him later about that. But that's my big upset of the week. I'm definitely 100% guys taking 12.5. That's a guarantee. And to our Monday nighter, the Baltimore Ravens, who also made a trade. They picked up a good defensive player. I think they picked up Robert Quinn, if I remember correctly. Um, they go to New Orleans to take on the Andy Dalton-led Saints, whose offense looks much better with him at quarterback as Alvin Kamara came back to form last week. This is a tough game. Jose, what do you got?
Mm, I don't know. It depends on the injuries of.
Yeah,
They've been having a lot of injuries lately, especially to key players on the offense.
absolutely.
But with picking up Raekwon Smith from the Bears, that's gonna help him in the on linebacking thing. With the run game, I think they'll control the clock. So I'm taking Baltimore this one.
Gil?
Yeah, it's a toughie. The Saints showed some life last week. Uh, a shutout, right? So
Yep. Yep.
tomorrow look like they're coming back. Baltimore played well too. They ran around. Lamar's gonna run around too. Um, Mark Andrews might be out. That's a big
Yep.
loss.
Yep.
Usually that's Lamar's go-to when he's in trouble.
Yep.
The Saints D's not bad. It's in New Orleans. You know what? I'll take New Orleans. I'm gonna take New Orleans at home.
Yeah, I'm going to repeat what Gil just said. That New Orleans defense showed up last week. If that New Orleans defense shows up against Baltimore, they can win this game. They have the kind of defense that can stop a Lamar Jackson, especially if Mark Andrews is out. They also have running back injuries. Um, they don't have much at receiver either. Um, and then you have the Baltimore pass defense, which is bad. And if Kamara gets going, New Orleans can win this game. So I'm going to take New Orleans as well. Um, at home, and Mr. Malfera also has New Orleans at home. So this is a week, guys, where we're going to see major movement in the standings. It's either going to go really bad or really good for somebody this week. There's not a lot of same picks. It's moving week, or as they say in the red zone, the witching hour, where losses become wins and wins become losses. So we will see what happens here, and that's our picks for this week. And as you can see, it's a little testy already while we're making our picks. So we're going to be right back with what's bothering us. But I'd like to invite you to subscribe, like, and comment to the Reese Report. Let us know what you think of our show. But until the next Reese Report, which will be what's bothering us, and we will have a special guest for what's bothering us. I'm the mouth of the North, Andrew Reese. That's Gil Santos, and that's Jose Carlos Gomes, who looks annoyed and is about to explode. You guys are going to want to watch this. We'll see you next time on the Reese Report.